Viridian, The Green Guide by Clouds. My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. Read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 111. Semifinals. Summary. The big question now is, where is Viridian? Denki cracked his knuckles as he grinned at Uraraka. As much as I'd like to let a pretty girl make me float away, I'm kinda gonna have to stay grounded. Nothing personal. Uraraka rolled her eyes. I'm sure. Just like it'll be nothing personal when I float you right out of the ring. Denki's grin got a bit wider, and he glanced over towards Mentos. He should have already called the start of the match already. What was taking so long? Denki's smile fell when he realized that Mentos wasn't looking at them. He was focused on listening to his comms, and if Denki didn't know better, he'd say that Mentos was worried about something. After another moment, Mentos swallowed and took a deep breath as he turned to the crowd. There will be a brief delay before the next match. Uraraka, Kaminari, come with me. Denki and Uraraka looked at each other before hurrying after Mentos into the tunnels. The crowd was already rumbling with mutters and whispers as people wondered what was going on, and Denki was kinda in the same boat. This couldn't have anything to do with Izuku. They wouldn't have stopped the sports festival for a vigilante, but Izuku wouldn't have stopped fighting Queen Bee unless the fight was completely over and the hero killer fight was all the way in Hosu with Ida's brother. What's going on? Uraraka asked once they were out of sight. Kachan said there might be a villain attack of some sort. There was, but it ended before the third round. Denki cut in. Unless there's another one? Samantha sighed. The Villain Factory, or the League of Villains as you know them, Uraraka, was attempting to retaliate against us for taking down one of their own. Both villains have been stopped, but, well, you'll see. Samantha picked up the pace, breaking into a jog and leading them through the maze of tunnels until they reached a seemingly normal hallway that was currently in complete chaos. I'm here, and I brought the kids. I figured their quirks would be useful. Neza nodded, his fur on end. Perfect. Kaminari, you can use your electricity to give others a second wind, correct? I observed you doing so during the entrance exam. Kinda, Denki responded nervously. I mean, it's mostly for muscle soreness, but it's worth a try. Rocklock read out. Use it on me, kid. Denki's eyes widened. Are you hooding up a whole entire wall with your quirk? Death Arms is helping too, Aizawa explained. But Shigaraki was desperate, and they'd made his quirk spread faster than normal. We need to keep the wall in place for long enough to evacuate the student section right above us. Wait, our classmates up there? Uraraka cried out. I can help. I remove as much gravity as I can. Neza nodded. Good. Shirakumo, if you would be able to help her get high enough to be effective. A man with shadowy black hair that Denki didn't recognize nodded. Sure, I'm not really sure my clouds support weight anymore. I'll have to figure that out later, but I can get her up there for sure. Denki almost screamed as Shirakumo made a portal just like one of Kurogiri's. I thought you arrested the villains. Nah, just took them down, Shinzo said. Kurogiri was being brainwashed, hence the weirdness. And if the whole thing with Rocklock works, can you do something about my migraine? Denki's mouth was dry, but he nodded as he ran toward Rocklock. I can try. Let's stop wasting time, okay? He vaguely heard Uraraka double-checking that the portals were safe, but Denki was too focused on using his quirk on Rocklock, focusing on blocking the pain signals and hoping that would help with quirk exhaustion as well. Okay, that's about all I know to do. Is it better? Rocklock nodded tiredly. A little. It's probably gonna wear off quick, huh? Yeah, it just kinda takes away the symptoms. It doesn't fix the problems. Denki apologized. Shinzo, you ready? Shinzo winced and nodded. Something tells me I'm gonna need to brainwash some more idiots if we want to use Kurogiri's portals to warp everyone to safety. Do your worst. Denki nodded and used his quirk on Shinzo as Uraraka hurried through the portal at ground level and came out near the ceiling, cancelling the ceiling's gravity with a yelp before Shirakumo caught her and she landed harmlessly back on the ground, already looking green. I don't think I can actually hold, a whole building for very long. You only need to hold it long enough for me to fix the wall, Samantha said calmly. Eraser, you and the others focus on evacuating the students. Aizawa nodded in confirmation. Come on, Shinzo, let's go. Kaminari, I trust you know how to find your boyfriend. Denki went red. Make sure he is safe. Aizawa cut him off. This entire attack was revenge, and he was the target. Shoto wasn't even surprised when Midnight came to the booth and told them to gather up their things and come with her immediately. Of course, Toya would do something stupid enough to force them to actually evacuate. They could hear one be evacuating beside them as well, and then they saw Shinzo and Aizawa waiting for them in the hall, right before a black portal engulfed all of them, and suddenly they were in one of the prep rooms with Present Mike and a guy who looked like he was a less creepy version of Kurogiri. Mike grinned at them. "Hey listeners, this might take a little bit of explanation." "Come on, pick up." Denki couldn't stop fidgeting as the phone kept ringing. He'd run around the entire stadium what felt like 3 times now, trying to find Izuku, and he didn't even know if he had his phone on him when he was out doing vigilante stuff, but it was the only thing he could think to do. What if Izuku didn't answer? What if they were more than the 2 villains that attacked and that nabbed him? Or worse, what if he was hurt somewhere and refusing to get help because he thought other people deserved it more? What if... "Hey, Dinks," Izuku picked up. "What's up?" Denki practically melted with relief. "Oh, thank God. Where are you right now?" Izuku sounded confused. Almost home. I wasn't quite sure where Eraser went, and I figured I wasn't going to get a better chance to run, so when I finished I just sat by the Kachan and got out of there as fast as I could. Why? Is something wrong? Nope. Denki winced as he realized he answered way too quickly. Nothing's wrong. There's no villains, no walls are coming down, everything's fine. Denki, Izuku asked suspiciously, do I need to turn around and come back? No, Denki yelled. Anything but that. Denki, what's going on? Izuku demanded. You're acting off. Denki bit his lip. Okay, so apparently the villain factory wasn't very happy about you taking down Queen Bee, and they sent Shigaraki and Kurogiri here to, take revenge? What? Izuku squeaked. I'll be right there. I can't let people get hurt because... But everything's fine. They caught them, and Nezu and the other heroes have it under control. It's just that Shigaraki disintegrated part of the stadium, so we're having to evacuate the part right above it, but Cementos is already fixing it, so it's fine. Still, Izuku sounded like he was beating himself up again. If they were there for me, I can at least help rescue. No, you need to stay as far away as possible, Denki said. If they send more reinforcements, then they'll need someone to fight them, Izuku said. I know they've got heroes, but... Denki's face twisted sadly as Izuku started muttering. He wasn't going to be able to convince him to protect himself, but maybe he would be more willing to protect other people. Izu, Viri, if you're still here, the villains will come to fight you. But if they can't find you, then there's no point in sending people here. Take off your vigilante gear, go home, and disappear for a little bit. That's the best way to keep everyone here safe, okay? When Izuku didn't respond, Denki pressed a little harder. Please, just stay away. Do it for me. Please. There was still a few seconds of hesitation. You'll call me if you need me? Denki nodded. Of course. You'll be the first backup I call if things go more wrong than they've already gone. Okay, Izuku said softly. I'll be watching to make sure you're safe, but I'll disappear. That's what's best for everyone. Denki nodded and hung up the phone. At least, Izuku would stay away and stay safe for now. He heard something behind him and saw Uraraka walking toward him. Hey, Uraraka, did Cementos fix the wall? Uraraka nodded, still looking slightly nauseous. Yeah, we're not gonna put anyone back in the sections, but the stadium's not coming down anymore, so that's a good thing. Midnight said to come find you so we can actually do our fight. Denki did a double take. They still want us to finish the sports festival? Are you up to that? You are holding up, like, an entire building. Uraraka rolled her eyes. Part of a building, and they gave me a choice, but I want to do it. The point of today is to push ourselves anyway, right? And even if I lose, I know I'm a hero because we just helped save people from real villains. It doesn't matter who wins, it's just for fun and to show the villains they can't break us. Denki gave her a small smile. I guess that's a good way to see it. Come on, I still have to wet the floor with you. Uraraka laughed and jogged toward the field. You're on. Izuku was tense and exhausted by the time he walked in the front door, all of his vigilante gear shoved down into the bottom of his bag. He took off his shoes and wanted nothing more than to just collapse onto the bed and sleep, but he was too keyed up and he needed to watch the rest of the festival so he could make sure everyone was safe. Izuku? Mom jumped to her feet as soon as he came into the living room. Are you okay? I was so worried when you just ran out of here like that. Sorry, Mom. Izuku let her hug him and forced a small smile onto his face. I just, forgotten to wish Denki luck. Plus, I wanted to give him some tips for the later rounds and stuff, but I'm back now. Mom shook her head fondly. You could have just texted him. You know how quirks are, Izuku chuckled. It's hard to explain things over text. Mom sighed. Well, did you do what you needed to? Izuku frowned. Mostly. I need to watch the rest of the sports festival though, just to make sure that everything is actually set. To make sure that Denki understood everything. Yeah. Mom's expression softened. Well then, you showed up just in time. They're about to restart the matches. Warning bells sounded in Izuku's brain. Restart? Mom nodded. They had to stop the matches for some reason about 15 minutes ago, but Kamina is just about to fight that girl Katsuki was working with during the first 2 rounds. Izuku hesitantly sat on the couch and watched the match. It wasn't a very flashy fight, definitely not the kind that the marketing teams would love, but if someone knew how to fight, it was even more impressive. Denki was showing off all the hand-to-hand skills in his arsenal as he tried to touch Uraka, who was dodging every hit while looking for an opening of her own and trying to distract Denki so that she could float him before he shocked her. Uraka was slowing down fast though, and it looked like she was about to throw up a couple times, so it didn't take long for her to trip up, and Denki didn't hesitate. He stunned her immediately, throwing her over his shoulder as soon as she seized up, and carrying her over to the edge of the ring before dropping her onto the other side. It wasn't the flashiest way to end a fight, but Izuku grinned. Any hero worth their salt would recognize the amount of strength, skill, and quirk control it took to pull off a move like that. Denki was going to get so many internship offers. Izuku couldn't wait. During the other semi-final match, Izuku paid more attention to the background than to the match itself. There was a section of the stadium that was empty, so it must have been evacuated at one point, but the cameras were doing their best not to call attention to it. Other than that, the pros looked like they had been on high alert but were starting to calm down, so Izuku decided to trust that Denki had been telling the truth and that it was safest for everyone if he just laid low. It looked like the best thing he could do was just sit down and enjoy watching Denki fight like he'd originally planned. Izuku smiled as Eraser announced the final match. It looked like everything was finally back to normal. Oh, this chapter was really good. And Denki persuaded Izuku to get home and not sacrifice himself. Yay! And Oboro just helping the heroes and the hero students was really good. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 111 of Viridian the Green Guide, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!